Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing super awesome today. Welcome to Zahatka. My name is Valentina, and today I have a little tutorial for you of how to make this patchwork phone wristlet. And it's going to fit most phones, but if you want it more snug around your phone and your phone's a lot bigger or a lot smaller, you can always modify the sizing and you don't have to do the patchwork, but I will show you how I did that. And the little wristlet part, I have that shown in a different video tutorial, which I'll link in the description box below, or you can find it up there. So if you're ready to see how I made this phone wristlet or whatever else you want to use it for, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and let's get to sewing. I start off by getting my fusible interfacing, and I have already pre-cut a few strips of fabric. They're 2 inches wide by like 15 inches long, and I just line them up in whatever pattern I want to do and place them on that shiny side of that fusible interfacing, cut off the extra, and then I take an iron and I tap over it. I do make sure to put a piece of cloth or something before. If you don't, you'll most likely ruin your iron. And you don't like slide over it, you kind of tap it more than slide. And then I do that to the back side, just tapping over it. And then after you're done with that, you're gonna sew your patchwork together. And how I do it is just fold it like that, the pretty sides together, and then like a quarter of an inch away from this line I make a seam, and then I do that for all of them. I just fold the first one, that's how it looks, then I fold that second one, third one, and so on, and just sew on the wrong side, folding the right sides together. Now that I have completed my piece of fabric of the patchwork, I cut out the size I need, and I need a 5.5 inch by 8.5 inch 2 pieces of fabric. So I cut the first one and then I cut that second one, and then I get some interfacing. I get the thinner cotton one and I just cut it out to size onto both sides. Then to attach that batting, I just called it fusible interfacing, but the cotton batting that I just cut out, I just sew over the lines a quarter of an inch away from the seam basically on both of them. And then I also attach my label at this point. After I cut off any extra batting I may have, I cut out the liner, and I'm choosing to do this pink fabric. It's an old sheet that was never used, that top sheet. I cut out 2 pieces, 2 sides of this lining, and then I get a zipper that's just a little bit longer, so about 9 inches long or 8 3/4 of an inches long, and then I make my zipper sandwich. And first goes the outer piece, right, with the pretty side up, and then the zipper down and upside down, and then the lining pretty side down on the bottom. So it's always, most of the time you're sewing, it's going to be pretty side to pretty side, and you're sewing on the not pretty side, or as other people refer to it, on the wrong side. After I sewed that zipper on, I go to my iron again, and I like to iron down the area where the zipper is on the front and on the lining just to lay it down, and then it looks nicer when you do the top stitch. And so I iron it down and then I do a top stitch on both of the pieces. Also, I am adding a little tab on the side for that wristlet, and this is how I do it. I just get a piece of fabric about 2 inches wide and 5 inches long, and I sew it pretty side to pretty side, and then I turn it right side out. Make sure that seam is in the middle, and you can either finger press it or iron it down. And then it's time to put our little zipper clasp on. Make sure that your lines line up the way you want them to. And for the zipper, I like to cut one side off and make one side be a little bit longer. Makes it a lot easier to put it on that way. But once you have it zipped together, you get your little tab that you made, put it inside, clip it down where you want it with the edges sticking out towards the edge and the loop going into the bag. And then I just like to clip everything else because we're going to sew it around, and it makes it easier for me whenever everything's clipped or pinned, so whatever you prefer to use. But whenever you are doing the sewing all around, make sure to leave a little gap on your lining so you can then turn your project right side out. And whenever you're going over the zippers, if you find it hard and or your needle breaks or your thread always comes out, I suggest that you just slow down at those parts. And I do like to go over a few times where the zipper is and stuff like that, so it holds better together. And I always do 2 stitches around. I know that's not necessary, but I do always do 2 stitches around when going around. And then your project is basically done. All you have to do is turn it right side out through that little gap that you left in the liner. And once you're satisfied with how it is turned right side out, make sure all your corners are poked out and everything. You sew up that little gap in the lining, and then you're done, and all you have to do is attach your little wristlet if you made one. If you haven't made one, as I mentioned, I do have a video, and you can go watch that video and make your little wristlet to match your little phone wallet thingy and attach that, and then you can have it on your wrist and not carry a purse, or throw this into the purse and it will be easy to find for whatever you may need it. Now, before this video ends, I did want to say a big thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it was helpful and useful to you, and you'll use the tutorial to make your own little phone wristlet for yourself. And if you did find this useful or entertaining, I do hope you consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting, and all that good stuff that helps me out. I really much appreciate it. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, night, or evening whenever you may be watching this. And I really hope to see you again next time. Bye bye!